another YouTube video. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be doing yet again another fresh, just got done reading this book, and it is Goosebumps book number 18, which is Monster Blood. Hey, so what is going on, everybody? I'm back with another YouTube video. Now, in today's video, guys, we are going to be doing another fresh, Hey, so what is going on, everybody? I'm back with another YouTube video. Now, in today's video, guys, we're going to be doing yet again another Goosebumps book review. Today's book review is going to be on Goosebumps book number 18. I just got done reading it, so it's a fresh book review, which is Monster Blood 2. Alright, so obviously I have quite a bit of announcements to make for upcoming videos, and some stuff that I've recently got done doing. So for some of the new videos coming up, I did release a poll asking you guys about making an updated Goosebumps collection, which I haven't done in nearly 2 years. I did one kind of later in 2019. It was October of 2019. So it's been about a year and a half since I've done a Goosebumps collection video. So I feel the need to do it. I don't think that it's too far-fetched to do it this early, even though it kind of feels early, like late 2019 to me. Doesn't feel like incredibly far away. But I have gotten a fair share of new stuff in my collection. So I would like to do an updated Goosebumps collection in the near future. I don't know when, but pretty soon, especially after getting the fan mail stuff, I would definitely like to make an updated Goosebumps collection. I'm going to try to get out a few gameplay videos. The progress has been very, very slow. I'm still learning some of the new features of this editing software, and I would like to, cut any parts that are unnecessary, and put in some funny stuff as well, and also enhance the quality. The quality on them are pretty bad, and I'm not exactly sure what to do. So I might just put a halt to gameplay videos until I can figure out what to do to enhance the quality or something like that. I know gameplay videos aren't exactly your cup of tea when it comes to my channel, because most of you just go on the streams and you watch them anyway, but whatever, we'll see. And also a stream comp coming in the near future. Those are all of the planned videos for the future. But one more thing that I would like to tell you, I did practically all week and even into this weekend, I've been getting rid of stuff and organizing my room, and I figured you guys might want to see what it looks like. Now, obviously, the camera angle doesn't really show some of the new stuff, except for maybe this shelf. But I'll just give you kind of a run through here of what it looks like. So obviously you can see that this is now here. I took that old shelf and or that other shelf and I moved it. This was my old nightstand that I moved over here. That worked pretty well next to my computer desk. So we put it there and some other knickknacks that are on the shelf. There's my new nightstand, which looks very, very much better, and I can fit in a whole bunch of souvenirs, and there's a bunch of storage. Over here looks a bit different too, more room than there initially was. I've also cleared out my closet. I don't think you guys are very interested in seeing what my closet has, but I did clear out that. But over here is the most intriguing part, because I remember when I used to record in this area, and I'm sure you guys remember as well, you had those big black shelves. Yeah, those are gone. Thank God, because they got really dusty, and they were just always leaning over. So now all my pop figures are kind of in a compact area, which works better for me. So yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like now. I did some rearranging and whatnot, so hopefully you guys like that. So let's get on to the book review. Alright, so like I said, I just got done reading this book, and there is no reprint copies for this book. I have like 3 copies of Monster Blood 2, so I just read an alternate copy, not the one on my shelf, but just a copy that's in a little bit worse condition, but still in pretty fair condition, to be honest with you. And Monster Blood 2, yes, I decided to knock out another Monster Blood book since I'd only read one. I was going to read Monster Blood 3 after this, but I decided to finish the last book in the first 10 books of the original series. So my next book that I'm going to be reading, by the way, guys, is going to be Welcome to Camp Nightmare. I figured I would get that one done so that we can fill in that little plot hole that I have for my book reviews, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and we're missing 9, so I'd really like to get Welcome to Camp Nightmare finished. But Monster Blood 2, this is about Monster Blood 2. What do I have to say about this book? This book is definitely a step up from Monster Blood. Now, the thing about Monster Blood, the thing about the first Monster Blood that they do better is that it felt like Monster Blood was scarier. It was more. I mean, in all of the books, I'm sure they make it feel dangerous, but in the first one, they made it feel scarier. In this one, it was kind of more of the danger side of Monster Blood, what you don't want to use Monster Blood for. So I guess I shouldn't put this book too much down for the Monster Blood not necessarily being scary, just more of like it's pretty dangerous and we need to keep it away or whatever. So this book wasn't really on the scarier end of things. There were a few details in there that might have freaked you out, but for the most part, it was just kind of like that danger side of the Monster Blood. You know, it can turn things into huge giants and stuff like that. I decided to read this book because I heard a bunch of people talking about, you know, Cuddles the hamster and how good Monster Blood 2 was, and they enjoyed it and stuff like that. So I decided to get it out of the way. I figured, okay, enough with the chit chat about Monster Blood 2. I'm just gonna read this, see how it did, and it was pretty good. Stuff doesn't really get interesting until about halfway through the book. The first half is just kind of introducing the characters and seeing where the plot's going to go to where it's eventually going to get suspenseful and basically the main part of the book. But the first part of the book is just kind of like he's in this his science teacher's name is Mr. Murphy. He got in trouble with Mr. Murphy, so he has to take care of this hamster, and he's having trouble with Cuddles the hamster. So the teacher's always blaming it on him. He eventually meets his friend from the last book, Andy, who moved back into town. And there's also this bully that we see throughout the book named Conan. So he adds an extra nice element to the book, which is very, very nice. So there are some definitely really good characters and likable characters in this book, or relatable characters, I guess you can say. The only thing I don't really like is how the teachers just, like, it's kind of like what Night of the Living Dummy had, one of my pet peeves, is where the person is always blaming it on somebody when it's obviously not their fault, or they're making dislogical assumptions about somebody and stuff like that. Monster Blood 2 does that sometimes, but still, I can understand where R.L. Stine was going with this book. He was trying to make you relate to Evan, where you're always getting in trouble for no reason, and the bad guy's always getting away with things. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to relate you to Evan, which, you know, that's totally understandable, and it works. Conan, the bully, was a great way to represent that. And there was also a part in the book, about halfway through the book, where things start to get more suspenseful, and the Monster Blood kicks into the book. I think it was somebody, I don't remember exactly how they found the Monster Blood. I think Andy or somebody had the Monster Blood, and she had happened to show it to Evan, and they wanted to bury the Monster Blood, but Conan the bully finds them, steals the Monster Blood. So what they do is they don't break into his house, but they sneak into his house to get the Monster Blood. And there's about 3-4 chapters about this, and it's actually pretty cool to see that. They go into his house, and you kind of get to see more of Conan's character when he's inside his house or whatever, and his parents and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. So there's about 3 or 4 chapters halfway through this book about that. And then after that, that's where the Monster Blood really starts kicking in. Andy wanted to kind of get revenge on Mr. Murphy, and I guess kind of make him mad, or you know, make it so that he can't make an excuse on Evan for, you know, doing something to Cuddles or whatever, just to have a little fun with the Monster Blood. So she feeds it to Cuddles. He obviously turns really, really big, and that's where kind of the final act of the film or of the book happens, and they're trying to figure out a solution to shrinking Cuddles the hamster. They try all kinds of different things. They try growing Evan so that he can put him to bigger than Cuddles, and he can put him back into his cage or whatever. I don't really know what they were trying to do with that. It didn't really make sense to me. And they were trying to do a thing where they were taking Evan's dad's sculpture. He made a sculpture in the book and they took it from the auditorium of the school because I think he was putting it on some kind of like display or whatever. And the sculpture just so happened to be this spinning wheel or whatever. So they were going to try to use it as, they're going to try to put the hamster on the big wheel, and maybe he would shrink in size somehow. Some of the ideas weren't really very clever. I could see where he was trying to go, but they didn't really make sense to me. Eventually, Cuddles and Evan just shrink because there was an expiration date on the monster blood, as we find out. And then at the end of the book, what happens is that they go back home. Mr. Murphy rewards Evan with Cuddles the hamster. Funny enough, he didn't really want Cuddles, so that was kind of the funny part. But he rewarded him because he solved the problem or whatever. Mr. Murphy was finally proud of Evan for something. But at the time that happens, Andy comes over and tells Evan that her parents sent something that they found from Europe, because I believe her parents were out of town or something like that. So they sent her something from Europe. They thought that she had a fun time with the monster blood or whatever, so they send her monster blood that they found in Germany while they're on vacation. And she says she already opened it to see what it looked like or whatever, and Cuddles happens to eat some of the monster blood and he grows or whatever. And that's where the book ends. So I thought it was pretty good. There was not a single part in this book where I was just really, really bored and I did not have any anticipation to keep reading, unlike the first Monster Blood. The first Monster Blood had some pretty long and boring parts. This one was definitely a step up from the first Monster Blood. It's not one of my top tier favorite books in the series, but if we had a top 20 or a top 15, Monster Blood 2 would definitely be in there. It was very, very enjoyable. You had good characters, a pretty good plot. Some parts didn't make sense, but that's not going to hold it back for me. I mean, every Goosebumps book has a part that doesn't really make sense at all. So Monster Blood 2 is a really good read. I'm excited to continue down the Monster Blood line eventually, but I'm going to read Welcome to Camp Nightmare first. So if I had to rate this out of 10, it would definitely be an 8 out of 10. Like I said, not one of my absolute most favorite books, like some people might have liked this book a lot because, you know, the whole hamster part. Not personally one of my absolute favorite ones. It's not like up with like Ghost Next Door or Attack of the Mutant, but it is still a pretty good book, and that's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. That's 2 more points than what Monster Blood had. Monster Blood only got a 6 out of 10, which is just a pretty average or mediocre score. So yeah, Monster Blood 2, very good read. So that is it for the book review. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I do have some planned videos, and I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with the gameplay videos at this point. I might put it at halt until I can figure out what I can do to enhance the graphics, because I would just hate to give you a horrible looking video that's not very fun to watch. My previous Dead by Daylight gameplay video was okay, but the graphics, like I said, weren't very good. It was like in 360 pixels. Almost said pickles, guys. Jesus. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I would just say stay tuned for future content. Read the community post so that you can stay up to date, because things are always going to be changing or whatever. And join the Discord. The link will be in the description of the video. Other than that, like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time.